What's up everybody, it's Izzy from PowerliftingToWin, and in this video I'm going to do something that I haven't done before, and that is show some of my GPP training. Now don't worry, I'm not going to make this a regular thing because frankly it's pretty boring, but I did get a lot of requests from people kind of wanting to know what GPP looked like, what was the point of it, that sort of a thing. So I just wanted to show you guys a typical day of GPP and talk about what we're doing here with GPP. So first of all, for those of you who don't know, GPP stands for General Physical Preparation. Now the point of GPP is just to improve your all-around fitness, keep yourself healthy, and increase your work capacity. Basically, GPP provides your body with a training stimulus on days you wouldn't otherwise train. It's a way to bring up your general fitness levels. So, if you're some guy who can't reach down and tie his shoes, but you can bench press 500 pounds, GPP is going to help you, correct such a problem. Now, one thing that I do want to point out about GPP that I feel like a lot of people get wrong is that it's not another training session. It's general physical preparation. Preparation, not training, but preparation. So you don't need to psych up and go all out on your GPP days. You actually want to use as little mental stimulation as possible, in my opinion, and you just want to get the work in. Because the point is to keep you healthy, to build a little muscle. And again, it's to improve your all-around general fitness. It's not a training session. Now let's talk about exercise selection. I generally pick exercises that target lagging or neglected muscle groups. But if you have some bodybuilding goals, maybe you can pick things like forearms and calves here too. It doesn't really matter. That's the point of GPP, is that you can throw in some things that you wouldn't do on a real training day. Now I do hammer curls, rows, and abs on my GPP days right now, and they all have very specific reasons. So I do hammer curls, for example, because I believe they help keep my elbows healthy while doing low bar squatting. A lot of people have said the same thing, and I don't know that I always notice a big difference, but it's a preventative measure, and there's no reason not to do it. Same logic goes for rowing. I don't do rowing in my normal programming, but I do row twice a week on GPP days, which keeps my upper back, getting developed along with my pressing muscles, and theoretically it should also help keep my shoulders healthy, because some people really do need to do a lot of rowing to keep their shoulders healthy. I also train my abs directly because I feel that it is a key thing to do to improve performance. That is, I feel like you're leaving performance on the table if you don't directly train your abs. So I always keep some form of direct ab training on my GPP days. Now let's talk about GPP Protocol. That is like how to actually execute a GPP workout. What I generally do is I'll pick a weight that I can do 8 to 12 times. I'll repeat the weight until it gets to about RPE 7 or 8, which means there's 2 or 3 reps left in the tank. Then I'll rest for 20 to 45 seconds or so, and I'll go again. And I'll just repeat for 7 to 10 minutes per exercise, depending on where I am in my training cycle. Now, this is basically just a different version of myo reps or cluster reps, if you're familiar with those terms for bodybuilding. It's just a way to get in a lot of work in a short time without having an overly structured setup that would give undue importance to what you're trying to do. And that is, you're trying to get in the work, get some blood in the muscles, keep yourself healthy, build a little muscle. You're not trying to get in a training session for these other muscle groups. It's general physical preparation. Not general physical training, general physical preparation. One other note that I'd make is you guys should avoid exercises that tax your low back. So in my opinion, doing stuff like good mornings or heavy cheat barbell curls, not a great idea for GPP exercises. And in fact, that's why I do chest supported rows instead of, say, dumbbell rows or barbell rows or something like that. So I like to avoid any unnecessary stress on my lower back because I'd prefer to save that for real training. You only have so much lower back recovery resources, and I don't like wasting them on ancillary exercises. Now, one of the other things that I do on GPP days is high intensity interval training, and or known as conditioning. Now, what conditioning does is it's going to help you to improve your recovery times between sets. So if you're using auto regulation, that means you're going to be able to do more volume before you hit your time limits. And another thing that it does is it simply provides a great training stimulus on days when you don't otherwise get one, which means you're going to have better nutrient partitioning in your pre-workout and post-workout meals on GPP days. Additionally, it increases your work capacity, meaning that you can do overall more work in the gym without overtraining or overreaching and all of that stuff. So over time, adding conditioning, in my opinion, is a key component of a successful GPP day. It's going to help you continue to make long-term progress, even though it will do so in an indirect fashion. So what I do is I pick a modality such as, sledgehammer, tire flips, prowler, airdyne, C2 rower. Really, you just want to pick anything that makes the muscles a limitation and not your lungs. Your lungs shouldn't be burning, your muscles should. You want to use enough weight or resistance that your speed is somewhere between a jog and a sprint. Again, because you want the muscles to be the limitation here, not the lungs. Each interval should be about 15 to 20 seconds long, and your rest period should be about 5 times as long as that. So if you have a 20-second sprint, you should have a 100-second rest. I usually do between 7 to 10 intervals depending on where I am in my training cycle and how fast I need to be losing weight. Now, the last thing that I do on my GPP days is mobility. And my views on mobility tend to piss a lot of people off. Look, for me and my programs, the point of doing mobility is not to become a supple leopard of, like Kelly Starrett's fame. The point is just to retain basic functional movement and improve my positioning on the lifts. So what I do is I pick anywhere from 2 to 5 movements that help keep me healthy and help me get in better position for the lifts. So for me, I do a lot of shoulder dislocations because that allows me to take a really narrow squat grip, and I feel that it keeps everything loose in my upper body despite all of the benching that I do. I bench 4 times a week, and shoulder dislocations stretch out both my shoulders and my chest, and I just feel it's a great way to prevent any unnecessary tightness and potential injury in the upper body. I also do a lot of work on my hips because I am both a sumo puller and a wide stance squatter. So by doing drills that allow me to take a wider stance, I can do just that. I can get into a wider stance on my sumo deadlifts than most people, and I can take a wider squat stance than most people without experiencing any sort of pain or tightness or anything like that. Now, one thing that I will say about mobility is that you really should not dedicate, in my opinion, more than 10 minutes or so to mobility on a GPP day. If you want to do extra mobility, it probably doesn't hurt anything, but I just feel like it's a waste of time. Unless you have a specific issue that you're trying to address with your mobility stuff, you really have no reason to be doing it just to be doing it. It isn't that productive, in my opinion. You don't get a lot out of it. That is, most of the stretching that you do, if you do it for anywhere from like 3 to 4 weeks, you'll get like 80% of the benefits that you'll get over a lifetime. And the additional amount of investment that you get there, that last 20%, won't make a huge difference as a powerlifter, and you're going to be spending a lot of time to realize those gains. So in my opinion, it's just not worth it. That said, you have to find what works for you, and obviously if you have an injury or you're working around something like that and there's some special circumstances, feel free to do whatever you need to do. For me personally, I never go longer than about 10 minutes for mobility, and most of the time I spend just about 5 minutes on it. So that's a full day of GPP. I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, of course, feel free to leave comments below. And as always, my friends, have a nice day.